take him or not? No, he's going to let him go. Now, will McNish be able to get away? That's now Audi. 1, 2, 3.
It's a brilliant start for Bernhard and Trullier. They are running 1-2 with the Scott McNish closing fast. Bloodlines are showing. Audi and Peugeot are the class of the field.
This is a 24-hour sprint. These are new cars. We haven't seen them here before. This shows a massive degree of confidence from both of these teams, because they really can't afford to have any slip-ups, and they're driving so aggressively, all of them.
So much for an endurance race. Neither the Audis nor the Peugeots are pacing themselves. New designs or no, they're flying through traffic, looking for an edge.
Something happened, I didn't see, but if anything happened on the track, I think there is one of our cars will crash.
I was watching the data itself, and I saw that the car wasn't taking the trajectory that it should have done. And I looked up at that point in time and saw the crash actually happening. I think at that point it was doing its rollover over the tyre wall.
Oh, my goodness
That is a
me.
monster accident. That is a big, big accident. And who on earth was that? It was one of the Audis. It's McNish. Alan McNish off in a big way, launched out the inside, and that is a very, very big accident indeed.
At that split second, you don't put what you're seeing on the TV into what's actually happened, and it takes some seconds for everything to piece together.
We saw the car travel at high speed into the barrier, and I knew immediately it was our car.
I looked across at Howden, who was on my left-hand side on the pit wall, and I could see that he hadn't had a response from Alan at that particular point.
Are you okay? Alan, are you okay?
Is the driver okay? That's the first thing that kind of goes through your mind.
Alan, can you hear me?
He didn't reply on the radio, and I got a bit anxious.
Alan McNish went up the inside. The safety car has been deployed. At that sort of speed and at that sort of corner, that is a very big accident indeed.
And for what seemed like an eternity, there was no movement. But then you saw that Alan was actually moving inside the car, and they started to get him out.
I released the belts a little bit, had a look outside, and I could see that there was nothing left of the car. There was just basically bits thrown everywhere. The survival cell, the monocoque, was all what I was sitting in. At which point I knew the race was over. I knew that everything we had done, I'd just taken the lead of the race, was gone. There was 23 hours to go, and it was gone.
Out of the way, then it's just downhill from there on. You know, then you've got shit, that's it. Our race is completely over before it's, you know, even begun.
And that is the end of Tom Christensen, Dinder Capello and Alan McNish's 2011 Le Mans. I'm sure they will stay at the circuit in the Audi family spirit in order to support the cars number 1 and 2, who are now still lying first and second.
You have to get used to it, you know, that's kind of racing, and then you've got to snap out of that and, right, where can I focus my attention now? My car is out of the race. Now it's about, you know, the group. It's about Audi and the 2 remaining cars. Lena and Kyle, both of them, it was their first Le Mans as lead race engineers. They have to learn how to cope with the emotion, how to cope with the rough and tumble of the race itself. So I kind of made it known to both of them that I was here if they needed me.
Lena would lean on her mentor throughout the 2011 race. but at the moment her focus is on her driver.
I knew Ben's first question would be, is he okay? I replied back and I said, okay, we'll check on him, because it was quite important at that stage to ease his sort of fears of what had happened to the sister car.
Ben, Alan is fine. Fine.
Okay, thanks for the information.
After more than an hour under yellow, the race resumes with the Audis 1-2 and increasing their lead by the lap. But the race won't be won solely on the track. Pit stops will be a pivotal component of the 2011 24 Hours of Le Mans.
No, this is a fuel-only stop. Fuel-only stop. You stay in the car.
Audi's strategy is to run 11 laps per tank before refueling, a single stint. Peugeot will stretch their fuel over 12 laps. By race's end, this could save the Peugeots at least 3 pit stops and upwards of 2 minutes. Audi will counter the Lions' more conservative strategy by driving the R18s all out, in hopes that their outright speed will overcome the extra time spent in the box.
Timo, the plan is for you to do 4 stints. 4 stints.
We tried to minimize the time in the pits. We did this with doing 4 stints on one tire.
Peugeot, on the other hand, will only do 3 stints before changing drivers and tires. Audi may be pitting more often, but they will make the longer full service stops less often. Whether Audi's strategy is better than their rivals remains to be seen. At the moment, however, a more pressing question has arisen.
What's happening with the Audis? Timo went across the line 4 seconds ahead, and there's Ben Trelliway just dragged past him. So has Timo had a little incident there, or has he got a problem? Because he's lost 4 seconds.
The car's pulling a little bit to the left.
Kyle, the nose has popped out on the left-hand side.
There's a report that there's some damage at the front of the Audi, but he's being caught hand over fist. He's about to lose second place as well, so there's something not right, clearly, for the number 1 Audi here.
The unscheduled pit stop drops the number 1 Audi all the way down to 5th place.
Now, Timo Bernard has just given over the car to Romain Dumas. Paul, that was a short run for that car, presumably because of that damage was making it difficult for Timo to drive it.
It was a stop that they can ill afford with it all being so close at the top.
With the car sorted out, Romain Dumas goes on a 2-hour binge of speed. Dumas has moved up 2 positions and is closing in on the number 7 Peugeot, when he is quickly reminded how fickle this racetrack can be.
Oh, and the number 1 car is off the circuit.
Contact.
He has gone around. Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich resolutely kind of shakes his head. Doesn't look like there's any damage.
Take it fine. No contact.
I've had a not quite so happy feeling about that car.
A crash in qualifying, contact with a back marker, and now a spin. Another victory might not be in the cards for the defending champs. As the sun begins its descent towards the horizon, André Lotterer is attacking the circuit without pause.
I'm enjoying watching André Lotterer going well. I mean, he's really charging hard.
With Lotterer lapping well, Dumas comes in for a full service change. It's the number 1 car's 7th stop, 1 more than Peugeot, who pitted all 3 of their 908s 10 minutes earlier.
That's another 11 laps done, 1 less than Peugeot is doing currently. And there's going to be a driver change as well, look there, because Mike Rockenfeller is going to be the next man aboard.
It's all action down there at Audi. They're a very efficient team, just hard at work, nothing dramatic or different.
A Equipped with fresh tires, Mike Rockenfeller focuses on tracking down the race leader. In the gloaming, Lotterer has stretched the number 2 Audi's advantage to over 1 minute.
How is the pace?
Andre, pace is very good. Pace, very good.
You've got Lotterer lapping in the 333s, Mike Rockenfeller's Audi in the 332s, but find a Peugeot and it's doing well to be 334 or 335, so they're losing round about 2 or 3 seconds a lap to cars they're chasing anyway.
With 2 Peugeots in his rear view, Rocky has the number 1 Audi in position to overtake the number 7 Peugeot for second place. At Le Mans, the night takes on a life of its own. Many of the race's deciding moments have played out under the cover of darkness.
It's really a strange feeling driving at night at Le Mans. It's really dark. You have these long straights where you think at that time you are alone on the track.
It's just you, the car, the lap time, and that little bit of vision, and you're really in a different world somehow, because you don't see anything else. And in the day you see the crowds and everything, and there you're just in that little world.
I really love to drive at night. Once you get in, you know, you are alone in the car, you do your 3-4 hours, you are so awake, you have so much adrenaline. It's such a great feeling just to go that fast at night. And that's something which is special in Le Mans. You know, you work 1 year to prepare the car, to get everything ready, and then you are in the car alone. You have to do your job. It's my responsibility in that moment, and all the people rely on me. You have it in your hands. It's unbelievable, the pressure you have. And if you make a mistake, you know, I mean, we are all human beings. It can happen in Le Mans. But the influence in Le Mans is much bigger. Small details can go wrong, and the race is over.
Mike Rockenfeller looks every bit the champion. He's found rhythm, and with it, pace. Lap times are falling.
I quickly adapted myself to the conditions, to the car. You know, we were fighting back, was able to catch up.
Now, what's also just happened at the head of the field is something that we haven't had since the second hour of the race, and that is an Audi 1-2, because Mike Rockenfeller has got himself past the troubled Peugeot of Marc Genet.
How big is the gap to the leader?
The leader, 65 seconds. 65.
Copy.
And then I was on this straight after Mulsanne corner. I'm going to Indianapolis. I flashed a few times the headlights. I thought, okay, he saw me.
Rocky, do you copy me? Rocky, do you copy?
We tried to get in contact via radio with Rocky immediately, but there was no reply. And if there is no reply, normally this is not a good sign.
In the darkness hours, we get pictures of what looks like a model kit spread across the track. We can't identify the car. There's not enough left of it.
Andre was driving at the time, and he wasn't that far behind Rocky.
Andre, the incident is on the way into Indy. Debris on both sides of the track, so be very careful, be very careful.
I come up and I thought, wow, that's could be a big one, because I know we're traveling there at 330 kilometers per hour, and then I get closer to the scene and I see all these parts around, and I was like, wow, this was bad. And I was like, where's the car? And I couldn't see where the car was.
Holy, what was that? What? The car looks completely finished.
Copy that, Andre. We've seen it.
Who is it? let me know as soon as you know, because I got a bad feeling.
Andre, it's Rocky.
It's never good when a hush falls over a racetrack. And again, for the second time today, unfortunately, we have a hush. There are stunned faces in the Audi pit. This is a massive, massive accident. You can't even really tell that that used to be a race car.
After Alan's crash, you know, you saw, okay, we're doing a dangerous race here. As soon as you go off the track with the speeds we're going, it's a big one, and there it was even a bigger one. You know, it's one of the highest speeds area of the track. I thought, wow, will I be the next one?
Everything was pitch black in the car, so I didn't know where I was on the track. I wasn't sure if I'm on the track still, if another car is coming, and then I don't remember so much anymore. I jumped out of the car myself, I don't remember it, and yeah, I had a headache.
The good news, Rocky went out of the car on his own. He's behind the barrier. He's a little bit dizzy, but they bring him to the medical center.
Andre, Rocky is fine. Rocky is fine.
Hallelujah.
This is what they're designed to do in the event of an accident. They are designed to send bodywork, said gearbox, said wheels and suspension samples. All of that disperses the inherent kinetic energy.
No one appreciates that more than Alan McNish. The Scot is back at the track after extensive medical checks.
You can rest assured that the guys back in Ingolstadt that have done the design of the construction of this new one-piece monocoque, they did it for performance, but they also did it for safety. And they go beyond the regulations with the tests that they do to ensure the safety of the driver. And right now, I want to give them all a very big hug.
A grim reality descends on Audi. They now have but a single car to fend off the mighty trio of Peugeots.
Instead of having 3 legs to your tripod, you'd gone down to 2, and then suddenly you were on a single leg.
The Audis are being driven on the limit because they have to be to stay in contention.
That puts a heck of a lot of stress and strain, not just on the driving crew not to make a mistake, or the mechanics not to make a mistake, but also the guys, the engineers, the strategy, everything else. It had to be right because there was no fallback solution.
I don't know that I felt the pressure as much on the pit wall, but back in the garage, I think that intensified quite dramatically because now it was one Audi against